Hello and welcome to Productively Mindful. My name is ailandas.sulcas. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate your presence. So let me actually start this video with a little story. There was a person 2,500 years ago, a normal person just like me, just like you. And the person's name was Gautama. He was born to a royal family. He was a prince. And when he was 5 years old, he decided to understand why is it that when a certain emotion arises, he feels a certain sensation on his body. So he went and sat underneath this tree near where he was living, and he said he's not going to move until he understands the reason behind his emotions, behind his sensations on his body. He kept doing that for about 30 years. And when he was 35 years old, he finally understood. He finally crossed the bridge, jumped over the wall of what we understand as the physical, objective reality. He went beyond mind and matter. And that is the person that we know today as Buddha. Just an ordinary person. Nothing special about them, maybe apart the fact that he was born in a royal family. However, the ability to experience what he experienced does not mean you have to be a prince to experience. And that is a very important thing to know, because a Buddha is not a god. A Buddha is me. A Buddha is you. A Buddha is any other person. We all have a seed of Buddha within us, the seed of enlightenment. We all can achieve it. And Buddha, through this work, the person named Gautama has realized that the only way we can stop our misery, our suffering in life, is by understanding what is happening within our structure of body and mind. Within these confines of the body and mind, the reality that we experience happens. Nothing that we experience happens outside of us. Nothing. The only reason why we can experience it is because of our cognition. The ability to see, hear, smell, taste, touch. So Buddha, by realizing that, and by understanding the fact that we have to look within to understand everything outside of us, to understand the truth of nature, we have to understand our sensations, the sensations that we feel throughout our body, throughout our mind. And he reignited the use of a meditational technique. It is not a technique that he discovered, because it is a technique that has been used before Buddha, but it was forgotten and it was lost. And he rediscovered it by going through this journey, through self-discovery. And that is what I was doing for the last 10 days. I spent around 110 hours practicing that exact same thing. I went to a place where they teach you a meditation called Vipassana. That is the predominant meditation technique that you learn, but there's two other meditations that you learn alongside of it. One, and the first meditation that you learn, is called Anapana. Anapana is used to sharpen your awareness, because in order to practice Vipassana, your awareness of your mind needs to be sharp enough to notice sensations all over your body. And then we also learn the meditation of metta. It is also commonly known as the loving kindness meditation. When I was getting ready to go, after I registered to go to that Vipassana retreat for 10 days, I did some research. A bit more research than I did before I actually registered, because I had to know what it is that I'm registering for first. And from what I read, from what I researched, everybody said that it is just a glorified body scan. That the whole Vipassana retreat gives vibes of being a cult. So I went there with certain expectations, certain ideas of what it's going to be like, what it's going to feel like. I had resistance to the whole thing. Now, for those of you that don't know what the Vipassana retreat is, you essentially live as a Buddhist monk or nun for 10 days. Men and women are segregated. There is no talking. There's no physical contact. There is no journaling. There's no electronics. There's no internet. You only eat vegan food. There's no meat or dairy or eggs or fish. You spend the majority of the time meditating or speaking to the instructors sometimes, but the majority of the time is focused on meditating. You once a day watch discourses that were presented by S.N. Goenka. He was a person that popularized the Vipassana technique throughout the world because it was centralized to a very, very small area. The purity of it, not the tarnished versions of it, but the purity of it. And that was pretty much it. We had some talks with the teachers, then we had some breaks here and there. We had 3 very important sittings where we absolutely had to sit in the meditation hall to do. And then the rest were pretty much you can sit in your bedroom and meditate, or you can sit in the hall. But I spent about 90% of the time in the hall just because the energy is very good there. The energy is very good. So, how did the structure work? The whole 10 days. And it is quite straightforward. The first 3 days we spend sharpening our awareness. We go through the Anapana meditation. We focus on the breath, feeling the sensations that the breath gives us, and then feeling even deeper, minute sensations on a very, very small area of our between nose and upper lip area, kind of. And then after the 3 days, we start practicing Vipassana all the way to the 10th day. And on the 10th day, we learn the metta meditation as well, just as a bonus, right? Because metta meditation, when you do Vipassana, you build up very good frequencies, very, very good vibrational frequencies that you can actually feel. You can actually feel them. And metta, when you practice the love and kindness meditation, you emanate those frequencies all the way around you, and you can share the good feeling, the goodness, the happiness, the contentment, the peace, the goodwill, the sense of compassion all the way around you to people around you, maybe even beyond. So it's a very, very important meditation as well. It's very helpful. And that was pretty much the structure how we learned the meditations. Now, what is the reason behind us doing the Vipassana meditation, which is essentially a body scan? Vipassana is scanning your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. The reason why we do it is because we want to understand that everything in life is subject to change. Everything that comes into existence disappears. We want to build equanimity in our mind, understanding that nothing is permanent. Understanding that craving something or creating aversion towards something is pointless because nothing is permanent. Everything goes away in time. Pain goes away in time. Anger goes away in time. Disappointment, stress, anxiety, all the things that cause us misery go away in time. Perhaps not soon, perhaps not in a short period of time, but they do go away. So why do we choose to react to things that will cause us misery if it is something that is temporary? We become so obsessed with the fact that we want to feel happy now that we try to avoid the things that make us unhappy now. Or we try to cling, we try to crave the things that make us happy now. But it is never permanent. It is never permanent. And that is where the misery comes. We are ignorant to the fact that nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. And we think that by avoiding hardship, avoiding suffering, avoiding the bad feelings, the bad emotions, is going to make us feel happy. By clinging to the things that made us feel made us feel good sensations, good emotions, good feelings, will sustain that goodness, that happiness, that contentment, that peace, whatever the good emotion was. It does not happen because it also passes away. And I would really invite you to have a think about that, like really, really strongly. Think about any experience that you had, any emotion that you had, anything in life that you had. It always passes. Always passes. And then the other reason why we do it is because it allows us to understand the nature of our being, the nature of reality. It allows us to find happiness within, peace within. It allows us to understand who we are, not by the mere fact of knowing that we are just a mass of subatomical particles, but it allows us to understand that through experience. The sharper the mind is, the deeper into the subconscious realm of your experience of life it goes. It is always aware of all the biochemical processes that are happening in your body, but you don't sense them because everything you sense in life is very superficial. Everything that you experience in life is superficial. Everything you see is superficial. You might look at things and just see them for what they are, but you don't see them for everything they are. For example, I could look at a table and just see a table, but I don't look at a table and see that it is a tree that has been cut down, that has been growing for crazy amount of years, that had to grow in a fertile soil, that went through all kinds of biological processes, that required a bunch of animals and bugs to work in a certain sequence to bring the seed wherever it was. Maybe it was a lineage of trees that made that happen. There's so much that goes into it. And by going deep within, we start understanding that, because your mind is capable of sensing very, very subtle things about you. As you go through the meditation, you can start feeling the deeper levels of your physical structure, your mental structure. And I'm not going to give you too much about what those feelings are, because it can give expectations, and I would highly recommend to actually go to a Vipassana retreat to experience it fully. Actually, everybody should go to experience Vipassana and learn many things about themselves. So you start understanding the nature of your reality, who you actually are, within the confines of your body and mind, because you don't need anything else. But then you also start understanding the reason behind why you have aversion or craving. And it is because we react. Anytime anything happens in life that presents us with a situation where we feel uncomfortable, or maybe extremely comfortable, some sort of an extreme situation, we react quickly because we get a sensation somewhere on our body. For example, if we feel anger, you will notice that your rhythm of your breath changes. Your heart starts beating irregularly or faster or slower, whatever it may be. That's just one example. When you feel anxious, you can start getting palpitations, you start getting butterflies in your stomach. If you're about to go to an interview, start sweating, your palms start sweating. You might get sweats on your forehead, you might start getting a shake or a panic attack or whatever. All of these body sensations are there just before we start creating aversion or craving. And if we learn to sense and be aware of those sensations as they happen, we become shepherds of how reality affects us. We become in control in terms of how we experience reality. The reality that we experience happens all within us, all within the confines of our body and mind. And if we can understand our sensations and work through them and go deeper and deeper and deeper into sensing more and more and more in the body through sharpening your mind and sharpening your awareness, the more fine-tuned our body and mind will become. And the moment a situation happens where we would feel an emotion that would create aversion or clinging, craving, we will notice the sensation in our body. And as opposed to becoming anger, becoming stress, becoming anxiety, becoming happiness, becoming elation, becoming ecstasy, we become the sensation. By being the sensation, we still are part of the experience of those emotions, but we do not become them. We are observing them, and we are being present just enough for the emotion to lose its significance and slowly dwindle away. That is the only way you will be able to truly recognize the emotion, which is the first step of the 5 steps towards emotional well-being, which is something that I talked about, and I'll link at the top right-hand corner and underneath this video if you want to check out. But it is the first step towards recognizing your emotions. The next step being acceptance, embrace, understanding, and insight. And the more you go through the cycle, the more insight you create into your emotions, the more free you become of these difficult emotions, these emotions that would cause aversion or craving. And slowly but surely, all that remains is happiness, pure love, pure compassion, peace, contentment, goodwill, all coming from within, because that is the nature of our mind. It all comes from sharpening your awareness. By becoming aware of the fact that change is the life essence of our reality, nothing is permanent. By understanding that, and that alone, you will be smiling on your deathbed, because you know that that was inevitable. In fact, you are dying every single moment. You're slowly dying every single moment. The art of life is the art of death. It is all about understanding why we create aversion, why we create craving, and why we are so ignorant to the fact that we create these things. It's all about creating equanimity in our mind. We are balanced. We do not crave. We do not create aversion because we know everything is impermanent. So the meditation is not just a glorified body scan. You're not just scanning your body aimlessly to feel good, to feel some sort of a sensation. You do it because you know that in the long term, it is something that will give you benefits. It is something that will potentially solve the physical ailments that you have. Migraines can be solved with this. A head pain, chronic pain can be diminished or even solved in some cases with this. A lot of the pain and suffering that we have, actual physical suffering, comes from the fact that we are in constant tension, constant stress, because we're constantly fighting against life. We create friction against how life unfolds in front of us because we think everything around us is at fault. Everything that we see, that we cognize through the experience of our senses, is at fault, is the reason behind our suffering. But once you start practicing something like this and understanding something like this, you start going within and you start realizing that the way you cognize reality, the way you perceive reality, is your own objective reality. We all have our unique realities because we all have our own journeys to go through. And not just that, not just our own personal journeys, but the flow of consciousness brings the misery of our past lives along with it to the life of this, the life of the one that you're experiencing now. And the only way the flow of misery within your consciousness will stop is if you start doing something about it. An amazing step would be to just simply give Vipassana a try. Give the retreat a try. You don't even have to take into account everything they say. Take just meditation into account. Just accept the meditation that they give you, and you will start seeing benefits. By the time I left, I knew deep within that I was not the person that I was when I got there. I am purely and simply fundamentally different. I don't know what it is that is different about me now. I would not be able to tell you, but I just feel calmer. My mind is quieter. I feel more at peace with myself, with life, because I know things will not be permanent. I know things will change. I know that there will be hardship. I know that there will be happiness, and that is fine. That is just the flow of life. That is just how reality works, and there is no point in resisting it because nothing is permanent. Eventually, everything will end. My experience of life will end, and that is okay. There is no need for me to worry about anything that happens because worry will only hinder the purity of my experience of reality. Non-worry, acceptance, non-judgment will be the only pure ways of experiencing life without any resistance, without any friction, without preventing anything that needs to happen from happening. And in fact, this purity of mind, this depth of sensational experience, when we go deeper and deeper into sensations, the vibrations that you experience are actually the vibrations that we talk about, the frequencies. Frequencies, when they become like for like, they start attracting the things that will make us happier. That is also another element of generating happiness from within, because you start attracting the like-minded, like-frequenced things to your life that will bring you the peace, the contentment, the compassion, the goodwill that you require. Things will start happening the way that will bring you everything that you ever needed, everything that you ever wanted even. So just trust the process and understand those very simple concepts that I just talked about. Everything will happen the way it's supposed to happen based on the actions that you take, the decisions that you make, the way you make a conscious effort to react to life. That is how you will structure your reality. It's very difficult to actually compile everything that I've experienced from this experience, because although it was long, 10 days is not short, although I feel like many things happened, What I have experienced was very inward, very deep. It's a fundamentally changing experience. And I have not been back in society for long yet. And the way you will know that there have been changes is when you start integrating yourself back into society, chatting to people, doing work, just doing normal day things. And if you've done the practice properly, you should start seeing differences. You should start seeing that you are more content, more at peace, more happy. You have more goodwill, you have more compassion towards people because you understand them more deeply, why they are miserable, why they are angry, why they are suffering. It is a very profound experience. It is a meditation that I will be sticking to for a very long time without even considering anything else. It is hard to explain, but I just know that it has changed me. And it has changed me definitely for the better. The practice of this meditation is non-sectarian. It is scientific. And if you want to find out more about it, I would highly recommend watching S.N. Goenka's discourses. I haven't actually checked, but you can definitely find them on YouTube. I would be surprised if you couldn't. But if you watch his discourses, he's actually a hilarious guy. He's so funny and entertaining to listen to. But he is also an incredible speaker. The way he uses language to explain what it is that we experience and work towards using this meditation is absolutely out of this world. So I would highly recommend watching his discourses, at least the 10-day discourses. It will make a lot of sense that everything about Buddhism, everything about Vipassana, Anapana, Metta is non-sectarian, it is universal, it is scientific, and it just makes sense. I would not be preaching it otherwise because I am very much about proof of what spirituality is, not being just woo-woo, not being just something that is very difficult to comprehend with your mind, but it is actually straightforward, is actually backed by science to some degree, so people can actually believe it, because a lot of people believe science but don't believe spirituality. And it should be simple, it should be straightforward, because every single person should be able to understand it, because every single person has the seed of Buddha within them, the seed of Dhamma, which is life, the law of nature. We all have it within us, and we will only understand that if the content that is explaining those concepts to us is understandable, is basic, is simple. Therefore, whatever is being taught in those retreats is basic, is simple, is understandable to every single person. It's all about creating equanimity and balance. That's all it is. No extremes in life, just balance and equanimity. I hope this makes sense. I hope this will entice you to give it a go, or perhaps even check out meditations that focus on feeling sensations in your body, because that is the essence of meditational work. We need to focus on sensations. Sensations will take us to where we want to go and slowly move us away from misery. I have also a free community called the Flame Keepers, somebody who look after their flame, their soul, through mindful integration of emotions and feelings to be able to gain the full abundance from their spirituality journey. It is something that's very close to me. It is something that's very relevant in the whole practice of spirituality, because if we're not emotionally there, we don't have the capacity to accept the abundance that we will receive. It will either tear us apart, or we will only receive a sliver of it, and it will absolutely shatter us as to why we're not able to get the abundance that we wanted. If that's something that you're interested in, make sure you check out the link in the description of this video. We also have daily affirmations there, weekly group meetings, we have exclusive monthly content there, and we also have a meditation bank that I will actually be redoing now after I gain this knowledge from the Vipassana meditation. The meditations that I will be putting there will be specifically aimed towards building that awareness, the sharpness of your mind, and it will be progressively getting more difficult and difficult. There will be different categories of difficulty that you will be able to learn from. And I will also eventually be doing another meditational course that will tell you how to go through those 110 hours of meditation and build your understanding towards Vipassana. I will also include the links to the discourses there if I can find them, so you can actually watch them as and when it is required and move through the steps that are necessary to build the understanding of Vipassana and gain the benefits of it. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to be part of a small growing community that's becoming more tight-knit every single passing moment, feel free to check out that link. Otherwise, if you did enjoy the video, I would highly appreciate a like or a subscription from you. Every single like, every single subscribe helps the content to be pushed out into the nethers of YouTube's, whatever you want to call it. The algorithm likes it. So if you could do that for me, that would be amazing. I would really like to be able to reach more people with the content that I put out and give more and more value the more people I reach, and just help as many people as I can, because it is all about compassion, all about helping people move away from misery. And if I can keep raising my karma, keep raising my frequency through doing the good work, I'm sure it will help me gain the abundance that I would like to get, and in turn help even more and more people as time passes. Also leave a comment. Have you had a Vipassana experience yourself? Do you agree with what I said? Do you think it's just a glorified body scan? Do you feel like Vipassana and Buddhism is a bit culty? Which is also interesting to know. Anything you have to say about what I said as well, just leave a comment underneath and we can have a chat. Always eager to learn about different perspectives, because it's personal experience. It's not universal experience, right? Like I said, we all have our own reality. So I would like to hear your own point of view as well. This has been ailandas.sulcas from Productively Mindful. Peace to you all, contentment to you all, goodwill to you all, love to you all. I hope you all become liberated from your miseries. I hope you all look within and become more happy with every single passing moment. I love you all dearly, very dearly. Thank you for watching this video, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Toodaloo!